StadiumDB.com presents largest stadiums from every European country. Hi! Have you ever had the opportunity to get to know every largest stadium from each European country? This is your lucky day! We have taken into account all federations affiliated with UEFA and the capacities for international matches. There are 55 football venues we will cover. You certainly know many of these arenas, but some of them you may be seeing for the first time. And we start with Gibraltar, Victoria Stadium, capacity 2,000. Being the only stadium in Gibraltar, the arena houses all games of local leagues on its synthetic pitch. After Gibraltar's inclusion of UEFA in May 2013, the idea of a new national stadium appeared. It would be situated on the other end of Gibraltar. Andorra, Estadi Nacional, capacity 3,347. The stadium is located near the center of the capital, on the banks of the Valira River, which flows behind the south stand. A few hundred meters to the southwest is another stadium, Estadi Comunal d'Andorra la Vella. Faroe Islands, Tórsvøllur, capacity 6,040. There's not that much history behind it, as the ground was inaugurated in 2000. Being the second national stadium in Faroe Islands history, it had a couple major revamps though. Liechtenstein, Rheinpark Stadion, capacity 6,127. The stadium plays host to home matches of Liechtenstein national football team and is also the home of football club FC Vaduz. The venue lies on the banks of the River Rhine, meters from the border with Switzerland. San Marino, Stadio Olimpico di Serravalle, capacity 7,000. Starting 1985, the stadium was known as Stadio Olimpico. While it clearly never hosted the Olympics, it did host the very first games of the Small States of Europe, an IOC tournament launched here in San Marino. Luxembourg, Stade de Luxembourg, capacity 9,471. The venue replaces the 90-year-old Stade Joseph Barthel as the national stadium. It was built as the new home for the national football and rugby teams, meeting UEFA's Category 4 criteria. Iceland, Laugardalsvöllur, capacity 9,800. Built as one of the first stadiums in the country, in 2004 a record crowd saw Iceland win 2-0 against Italy. The match made history because of the result and the 20,204 people in the stands. Latvia, Daugavas stadions, capacity 10,461. Created in early 1930s, the stadium offered several rows of seating on landfill around the 4-lane running track. Since 1992, the stadium has been considered the national sports stadium of Latvia. Montenegro, Stadion pod Goricom, capacity 11,080. History of the venue dates back to the World War II period when Italian soldiers were stationed in the city. Big changes came in 2004 as the stadium received seating, infrastructure was renovated, and stand-behind goals received second tiers. Moldova, Stadionul Sheriff, capacity 12,746. It was opened in July 2002. With a capacity of 12,746 spectators, it is still the largest stadium in the country. It is the home ground of the Sheriff Tiraspol football club and has also hosted the Moldovan national football team. Estonia, Coq Arena, capacity 14,336. Coq Arena, as it's known under a naming rights deal, was initially built as a public project, then had part of shares acquired by Flora Tallinn and now is fully owned by the Estonian Football Association. Lithuania, Dariaus ir Girėno stadionas, capacity 15,315. The stadium is located just over 3 kilometers east of Kaunas city center. The venue is surrounded by Ąžuolynas Park and next to it lies a sports hall. After the 2018-2022 upgrade, it is the only modern stadium in the country. Slovenia, Stadion Stožice, capacity 16,038. It was built in 2009-2010 and inaugurated with a match between the teams of Slovenia and Australia. The record attendance at Slovenia's largest stadium came when Olympia hosted Chelsea. There were 15,972 spectators in the stands. Malta National Stadium, capacity 16,997. From its opening, it's not only been used for national teams games, but also by many local football clubs. It was the first stadium to offer a natural field in domestic football. Kosovo Stadium Olimpico de Miashari, capacity 18,500. After the Kosovo War, the stadium was renamed in honor of Adem Yashari, one of the founders of the Kosovo Liberation Army. It hosted a UEFA Euro 1980 qualifying match of Yugoslavia against Romania. Northern Ireland Windsor Park, capacity 18,614. The story of Windsor Park begins in 1905 when two Northern Ireland's clubs, Glentoran and Linfield, played their Belfast derby. The owner is Linfield FC, but national team of Northern Ireland is also using it. Czech Republic Fortuna Arena, capacity 19,370. First preparations for the investment were made already in 1970s. The national team sometimes plays matches here, and every summer there are concerts by well-known performers such as Bruce Springsteen, Metallica and Depeche Mode. Belarus Nacionalny Olimpijski Stadion, capacity 22,246. It was built in 1934. After the destruction caused by the Second World War, it was rebuilt in 1954. In 2018, the grand opening of the reconstructed Dinamo Stadium was held, and a year later it hosted the second European Games. Albania Air Albania Stadium, capacity 22,500. Alpstar officially began construction in September of 2016, following 3 months of demolition of the old ground. Delays in the recent construction involve cost overruns ranging from 45 million euros to 85 million euros. Slovakia Národný futbalový stadion, capacity 22,500. Upon opening, the new Tahelko became the most advanced stadium across Slovakia for a number of reasons, including biometric turnstiles. Through cashless payment and screens placed around the stadium, it provides a modern experience. Cyprus New GSP Stadium, capacity 22,829. Inspired by modernist art, the new National Stadium of Cyprus was built in 1999 as the main arena of multi-use Pan-Cypriot complex in the southern outskirts of Nicosia. Norway Ullevål Stadion, capacity 27,200. The stadium opened on September 26, 1926, as the home ground for Lyn and several other local teams. Ullevål hosted the finals of the UEFA Women's Euro in 1987 and 1997. Kazakhstan Astana Arena, capacity 30,000. Design competition for Kazakhstan main football stadium was done in 2007, with the project being awarded to the renowned team of Turkish Tabanolu architects. Since 2009, both the Domestic Cup and Super Cup finals have been held here. At this point, we would like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and hit thumbs up. Remember to click on the bell button as well. That way you won't miss any of the future content. Israel Teddy Kollek Stadium, capacity 31,733. New stadium in southwestern district of Mala was opened in 1990. The roof has been equipped with a large solar power plant and impressive illumination, while further upgrades to the stadium facilities were announced in 2020. Bosnia and Herzegovina Stadionas im Ferhatovic-Hase, capacity 32,500. National Stadium of Bosnia and Herzegovina was built in 1947, but waited for pitch and running track installment until 1950. Most important games in the country are played here, with both the national team and top clubs, FK Sarajevo and Željezničar, hosting the most prestigious games. North Macedonia. Nacional Arena Tose Proeski. Capacity 33,011. The ground has existed since 1947. Between 2009 and 2019, the stadium was named after Philip II of Macedonia, which among other things became a point of conflict between the Republic of Macedonia and Greece. Croatia. Stadion Poljud. Capacity 33,987. Construction of the Poljud district stadium was ready in 1979 when Split was hosting the Mediterranean Games. Poljud was part of Croatia's joint bid with Hungary to host Euro 2012. In 2015, the building was listed as part of Croatia's protected cultural heritage. Switzerland. St. Jacob Park. Capacity 36,000. Decision to demolish the outdated stadium and replace it with a new one was made in 1990, but it took until 1996 for the project to be approved. Only major expansion to date came in 2007 when the arena's north side had a third tier added, nearly reaching railway tracks running nearby. Finland. Helsingin Olympiastadion. Capacity 36,200. The completely renovated stadium came back to life in 2020. The project received a lot of praise, winning the Wood Prize 2020, the RIL Award 2020 and Architecture Finland 2020. But there was also a lot of controversy surrounding it, as the €197 million budget increased significantly, ending up at €337 million. Denmark. Parken. Capacity 38,065. The construction of new Parken Stadium started in November 1990 and was completed in September 1992. Exactly 30,000 seats were prepared. The first match played on Parken was the home team's football match against Finland on September 9, 1992. Bulgaria. Vasilevsky National Stadium. Capacity 43,358. When initially built, the stadium was able to hold 42,000 people, and its stands were roughly half the height of the current seating bowl. Expansion came in 1966, and further works were planned for 1998. Due to insufficient funding, the project was carried out later, in 2000-2002. Sweden. Friends Arena. Capacity 50,000. Opening took place on October 27, 2012, with a special ceremony. First game was a friendly between Sweden and England. It wasn't only a chance to beat them, it was also a symbolic moment because the old Rasunda Stadium was also opened with this fixture in 1937. Belgium. Stade Roi Baudouin. Capacity 50,093. After World War II, the venue was more often called Stade du Ezel, after the so-called Ezel Plateau on which it was located. The stadium has hosted many different events over its history, including motorbike competitions, gymnastics performances, rugby matches and Tour de France stage finish lines. Austria. Ernst Happel Stadion. Capacity 50,865. Ernst Happel Stadium was the main arena for the 2008 European Football Championship. 7 matches were played there, 3 in the group stage, 2 quarter-finals, 1 semi-final and the final. This venue was also home to 4 European Cup finals, later called the Champions League. Serbia. Stadion Rajko Mitic. Capacity 51,755. In the 1990s, increased safety standards forced a significant drop in capacity. The installation of seats instead of benches and terraces reduced the number of spectators to less than 60,000. In December 2014, the General Assembly decided to rename the stadium in honor of Rajko Mitic, the first of the great Red Star legends. Armenia. Hrazdan Stadion. Capacity 53,600. Although the opening ceremony took place in November 1970, with Leonid Brezhnev himself in attendance, the first match was played in May 1971, when winter had passed. This match still holds the record for attendance in Armenia, with 78,000 people in the stadium. Georgia, Boris Paichar's Dinamo Arena. Capacity 54,139. An idea for a national stadium was born in the 1920s. Construction began in 1929, but was halted soon after. Since 2011, the stadium has been called Dinamo Arena, which is a much more charming name than the bearing names of Beria or Lenin, as it was in the past. Romania, Arena Națională. Capacity 55,634. The first match played at the arena was a Euro 2012 qualifier against France. However, despite early doubts about future use, the football calendar quickly filled up when Steaua began playing their most important matches there. In 2012, the Bucharest Arena hosted the UEFA Europa League final. Netherlands, Johan Cruyff Arena. Capacity 55,865. The ground is often regarded as breakthrough in football stadium design and operation. The word football should be changed to multi-use. Grand opening took place over a month after finishing the stadium. Among the most important events that accompanied the opening was a series of 3 sold-out concerts by Tina Turner. Poland, PGE Narodowy. Capacity 58,500. Decision to build a new national stadium in the place of historic Stadion Dziesięciolecia was made in 2007. Practically speaking, the first match on the PGE Narodowy was a friendly between Poland and Portugal, which came out on the pitch with Cristiano Ronaldo in the first lineup. The stadium is used as the home venue for the Polish national team. Portugal, Estádio da Luz. Capacity 64,642. Interestingly, Benfica stands among very few clubs in Portugal that finance their own stadium. The arena is famous for Benfica's unusual mascot, an eagle that flies over the pitch before each fixture. Thanks to its location in Lisbon and largest capacity in Portugal, it was the Euro 2004 final venue. Scotland, Scottish Gas Murrayfield. Capacity 67,144. Scottish National Rugby Stadium is also the largest venue in the country and one of the biggest in Britain. In 1975, it also hosted the largest rugby crowd to date, with a spectator number exceeding 104,000. For decades, Murrayfield has been host not only to rugby, but also various other large events. Hungary, Puskás Arena. Capacity 67,155. Plans for the changes to the Hungarian National Stadium had already been made before the end of the 20th century, when Hungary first competed to host the UEFA Euros. The country eventually competed in 3 consecutive bids, 2004-2012, none of which were successful, but the stadium is beautiful. Azerbaijan, Bakü Olimpiya Stadyonu. Capacity 68,700. Preparations for this project began long before construction began, as the entire complex was planned on the waters of Lake Boyokshore. The site first had to be drained and decontaminated. After an unsuccessful bid to host the Olympic Games, Baku managed to become the host of the 2015 European Games and Euro 2020. Greece, Stadio Olympiakos Pyroslouis. Capacity 69,618. The ground was first opened in 1982 after 2 years of construction works. The Greek national team also played here, and in 2007, thanks to this stadium, the first ever Champions League final was played in Greece. The stadium cost 265 million euros. Ukraine, NSC Olimpijski. Capacity 70,050. When opened in 1923, it was called the Red Stadium of Leon Trotsky. Last redevelopment, during which the ground received its monumental facade and giant membrane roof, was done for Euro 2012. NSC Olympic was chosen as the tournament's final venue. Wales, Principality Stadium. Capacity 73,931. The main tenant is the national rugby team, while the football team plays most of its matches in smaller stadiums. Other major matches in both football and rugby have also been held here, to name the Challenge Cup or FA Cup during the Wembley upgrade. Germany. Olympiastadion. Capacity 74,475. Initially, this was to be the host venue of the 1916 Olympics, but due to World War I, the event was cancelled. During World War II, the stadium was among few landmarks of Berlin that nearly didn't suffer any damage. Today's shape of the venue is the result of 2004 redevelopment prior to World Cup 2006. Turkey. Atatürk Olimpiyat Stadyumu. Capacity 75,145. The first major international match won for the stadium in a bid was the memorable 2005 Champions League final between Liverpool and AC Milan. The first ever match was played in 2002 when Galatasaray and Olympiacos met in a friendly match. It was more than a simple encounter, as Turkey and Greece began their joint bid to host Euro 2008. Italy. Stadio Giuseppe Meazza. Capacity 75,817. Throughout its history, San Siro has been the venue for many great matches, from the Milan Derby to Italy's prestigious international matches, the Champions League final and the World Cup. The stadium's second ring is approaching its 70th year of existence, which gives it a legally protected status, preventing it from being demolished. France. Stade de France. Capacity 8,698. Designed by renowned architects Macquarie and Zublina, the ground has a very distinctive roof, its most unique feature. Supported by just 46 slender columns, the steel construction weighs a massive 13,000 tons, which equals 1.5 Eiffel Tower. It is the only venue in the world to host a World Cup final in both football and rugby. Then came the Champions League final and soon Euro 2016 final as well. Russia. Luzhniki Stadium. Capacity 81,000. The largest ever reconstruction in the stadium's history took place ahead of the 2018 World Cup. Several variants were under consideration, including demolition of the whole stadium and construction of a futuristic weatherproof arena in its place. Eventually, a compromise was found between old and new as Moscow authorities decided to retain the historic elements. Ireland. Croke Park. Capacity 82,300. A major expansion and redevelopment of the stadium took place from 1991 to 2005, increasing the capacity to current 82,300 spectators. This makes Croke Park the fourth largest stadium in Europe and the largest that is not normally used for football in Europe. Spain. Estadio Santiago Bernabéu. Capacity 84,744. The Real Madrid Stadium has been one of the most recognizable stadiums in the world over the years. In recent years, it has been undergoing renovations that are expected to make it the highest-earning football venue in the world. However, not all fans like the new exterior of the arena. England. Wembley. Capacity 90,000. Wembley Stadium, although now seen primarily as the focal point of British sport, was originally designed as the centerpiece of the British Empire exhibition in 1924. One of the biggest events in the London arena was the 1966 World Cup. The first official match at the new Wembley was played on March the 24th, 2007, a meeting between England and Italy's youth teams. What an adventure that was! Let us know which arena you liked best and which stadium you didn't know before. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening and good night.